Hi guys, it's us here. Rudi is also still up, not just me. Wow, yeah, what can I say? That fissure is getting longer and longer. It seems that the magma is grinding a tunnel towards Grindavik. And guys, look at that earthquake map. I looked at it and that is scary. That is something we haven't seen in the other eruptions during the other events. It was a cluster in the other events that was really located and centered to the new eruption site. And now the eruption is already going and the earthquakes keep coming. Because it used to be earthquake swarm because lava had to grind its way to the eruption site, then eruption and earthquakes basically stopped. But look at this, now it's spreading out over the Reykjavik Peninsula and also inside the sea towards Eldi and stuff like this. Yeah, you could say it is a little bit along the North Atlantic Ridge, but the way it's spreading out around Grindavik, around that area, it is scary. And the sheer amount of earthquakes, so like over 400 earthquakes, and you see they're getting higher. It seems we have 2 over magnitude 4 and ones that reach 3, and it's not that you can say it's all like a microseismic swarm with a few that are higher. So it looks like massive tension is going on, and of course it's no surprise there was over 20 million cubic meters in that magma chamber underneath the Blue Lagoon and the Swartsengi power plant before this eruption started. And this eruption is massive. It's getting longer and longer, and guys, they're saying in just like about 30 minutes the lava will already reach Grindavik. So way faster than in past eruptions. It took them like 4 to 5 hours to reach. So that is probably in an area where the power plant and the Blue Lagoon is. And the fissure is getting longer towards the north and the south, but also towards, it's passing Hagafell and really getting closer to Grindavik. And they had to evacuate Grindavik. There was crew on site that was ready on standby to close the last gap in the defense wall in the western part that they leave open so that people can drive out through Grindavik mainly. They haven't closed that gap because they don't think it's necessary right now, and they have evacuated the civil defense personnel, the emergency personnel from Grindavik because it was rumbling so much inside Grindavik, so that they thought, is the magma tunnel grinding towards Grindavik? Will there be an eruption in Grindavik maybe? And what the scary part is, there are residents that seem to behave like, we're fed up with evacuations, we're staying in town, this is my home, I'm not leaving, if I die, so be it. So there's an announcement that the police chief of Sudorns has made on their Facebook site, and it says the following. He says, an eruption has started on the Reykjavik Peninsula near Sudnukur, north of Grindavik, and it seems to be located northeast of Silingerfell. And it's over 2.5 kilometers long right now. The eruption has started at 12:46 p.m. local time, and it is on a similar path as the previous eruption in the Sudnuka crater series. Grindavik, he says, the Blue Lagoon and the power plant in Swartsengi were cleared before noon today. They had more time to evacuate this time. When this earthquake swarm started around 11, it was surprising that they had that much time because they were expecting little to no warning time because they were expecting it to erupt in the same area as it did before. So they thought the highways there are already paved, so the magma doesn't need to grind a new tunnel, doesn't need to build a new highway. But it could be, since the old tunnels have been used so much by the last eruption, they might have become more narrow by magma solidifying and hardening, so that they might have been clogged, and that's why the last eruption ended. So magma did need to grind. But did it do another magma intrusion through Grindavik? Was that the reason why there was so much rumbling? So good thing was enough warning time. Last time the sirens went off and the evacuation started after the eruption had started. This time there was enough time to evacuate properly and without the fear, without the skies being red and without the eruption already happening. So evacuations went well, and they're saying there are responders in around Grindavik, and they're saying 3 residents still are staying in Grindavik despite the response workers telling them to leave and get out of town. And the police chief of Sudorns clearly states such reactions are not to be imitated. Do not do that. And we wonder what they will do with them. So they're saying it has not been reported that the police has exercised authority and taken action to remove them forcefully. Because, you know, if there's magma, building a magma dike underneath Grindavik, it could erupt right inside Grindavik, or there could be another crack, collapse, sinkholes underneath the homes where these people are staying. The roads could be cracked again because this is massive. This is not like in the last eruptions. So this could cause a lot of damage in Grindavik again, like it did on November 10th. Remember, the roads had been torn open, the hot water pipes, electric pipes were blasted, sewer systems, homes tilted, huge cracks opened, sinkholes, homes were like really, the foundations were damaged. So why are these people staying there? This time they should really get out. So the state police commissioner, in consultation with the police commissioner in Sudorns, has declared a state of emergency due to this volcanic eruptions. Reporters and journalists have been led near the fire, near the eruptions, and they have been accompanied by responders. So I guess the press will be happy this time that they have access. They're saying that they have appropriate equipment and press passes according to the agreement of the Journalists Association of Iceland with the police chief in Sudorns. So that agreement has been reached after a month of fighting, and you know, the journalists were filing a lawsuit because they were not let into the town to document what had happened. The police chief of Sudorns wanted to keep them out because after November 10th, they found a journalist who was breaking into a home attempting to take pictures in there. Of course, the residents didn't like that. They felt violated, so there was no access for the press until recently. So there are closing posts at the intersection of Grindavikovego and Reykjanesbrau and before Nesvegur, so that nobody can get into town. So wow. I'll give you more updates. I'll just line it all in this video so that you get all the latest news. There is a video that has been released by the Civil Defense on their Facebook site, and I have to tell you guys, this thing is massive. This thing is very long. This thing is like a creeping dragon. You can see the video behind me. They have flown with a Coast Guard helicopter to get an assessment, and you see there the old lava flows. There's this old lava carpet from that eruption that was going on so long, from March 16th till May 9th, building this massive lava carpet. And of course, there's lava carpets from the previous eruptions as well. So now the lava is quite high, and it has reached the height of the defense walls of Grindavik, especially in the eastern part. That's why they built a second row of defense walls should there be another breach, because there has been a breach, because now the lava has the same level. As of now, it doesn't seem that there is any lava flowing towards that direction, that the second row of defense walls will be tested, but we will have to wait and see, because this is a creeping long fissure that's definitely stronger than the other ones in the past. So it seems they are worried about their infrastructure because the lava is flowing west towards Grindavik, and especially at the beginning of the eruption. And they said that there is infrastructure that could be covered by lava. There's a hot water pipe. The same pipe was covered by lava at the eruption last February, and that had led to a lack of hot water all over Sudorns. And you know, it was winter and they're heating their homes with the hot water, so a lot of homes were without hot water for over 5 days. So hopefully that is not not such a huge issue now because it's getting warmer. At the same time, there is a lava flow that could flow again over Grindavik, the main access road that goes south-north that leads to the Blue Lagoon and into Grindavik. It could threaten the power line and the hot water pipes at Swartsengi again, and an overhead power line. They have done some upgrades to the power poles, built some barriers around it, but they say this would not affect the electricity supply in Sudorns, everything outside of Grindavik. It could affect Grindavik. But they're saying the danger is still being assessed and more scenarios are being considered. It will become clearer soon the longer this lava is flowing. And that thing is massive. It is stretching to the north and to the south, guys, but it is getting longer. It's over 3.5 kilometers long right now, and the plumes are going up to 3 kilometers up high in the air. They're still saying the air travel is not affected. The airport, Keflavik Airport, is operating as normal. But what's the dangerous thing is, the fissure is expanding to the south of Hagafell, and that's not far from Grindavik. Hagafell is just a little bit north of Grindavik, and it keeps expanding. They're saying it has not reached the end of expansion yet, and it could be that there is already a magma dike underneath Grindavik. We don't know, but definitely that looks a little bit more violent than the last eruptions. This looks like a dragon, like a creeping monster that could creep towards Grindavik. Definitely the lava flow is just shortly towards reaching Grindavik, so cutting off the main access road to Grindavik and Swartsengi. The Met Office is saying that the eruption has still not reached its peak, so it's still growing, still sending more lava out, and that lava is flowing way faster than in previous eruptions. They're saying that there's earthquakes and deformation are still being measured in the area, and it is not excluded that because of these earthquakes, we will see that fissure to grow. And it seems as we speak, confirmation from the Met Office came just in. The lava is flowing over Grindavik. The fissure is 3.5 kilometers long. The flow rate of the lava is roughly estimated at about 1,500 to 2,000 cubic meters per second. That's quite a lot. They're saying the seismic activity has decreased, but if you look at the maps, well, then this must have just happened because it's been quite massive. So they're saying the greatest force in this eruption is now at the southern end of the fissure that has opened earlier today, and that's not good because that's the end that is close to Grindavik, and it is expanding in that direction, as we just said. So the Coast Guard has done their surveillance flight, so now we know, and you see the screenshots from the flight behind me, so they can, as it's daylight, they know where it is. And they say it's a fairly intense lava flow that is surrounding Hagafell. And if it's at Hagafell, that's the doorstep of Grindavik. And then it's flying to the east and then to the south. And the southernmost opening of the fissure is now less than 1 kilometer away from the defense walls north of Grindavik, and it's approaching fast while we speak. So I think they should better go and close the gaps there so that it can't flow into town. And unfortunately, in this area, they do not have a second row of defense walls like they do in the eastern part of Grindavik. So if it's flowing to the east, that would be good. There's more protection for Grindavik. If it's coming straight into Grindavik in the area of Grindavik, I think that is not such a good ideal area, but we will have to see. This area hasn't been tested yet, the western defense wall. Definitely the flow is heavy. And you can see their updated map here. There you can see the length of that fissure, and you see the southernmost tip on that map, that is Hagafell, and there you see where Grindavik is. So it is basically, the fissure is right open towards that area where we did have a lava breach of the defense walls at the last eruptions. That was basically at the corner there, a little bit east of that. So definitely there will be probably lava flowing more towards the west this time, and maybe over Grindavik again, as you can see in that map, the lighter gray areas that flow along the defense walls in Grindavik, south of Mount Thorbjorn. This area has already flowed. It has flowed over, not flown. I always make that mistake. It's I don't know what's the time. It's getting close to 8 a.m. here. I still haven't slept, so pardon me making these mistakes. So that's the old lava flow from January that you see there, that has flown over Grindavik, and you see at the tip in Grindavik there was a surprise second fissure opening at the inside Grindavik, burning down these 3 homes. And that's my worry, because it's been rumbling so much in Grindavik that we could see a surprise fissure opening up inside Grindavik, because it could be that the magma's already underneath Grindavik. And in light of that, what will they do with these 3 people that are leaving, that are refusing to leave? I think they should forcefully remove them. I'm sorry that I have to say this. I'm all for freedom and property rights, and I want authorities to stay out of it 100%, but in this case I think their lives are highly endangered. And then they have released like an air pollution map. So right now the wind's coming from the sea, so it's blowing the pollution inwards. So we will have to see there. As Keflavik airport is basically at the tip there, it's probably not affected if the wind remains like this so far. But since it's flowing inland, it's flowing towards the capital, Reykjavik. So they're saying that the gas pollution could reach the capital tonight, and the environmental... Guys, I can't cut that out. It would take me too long. I want to release this video for you, so I leave the outtakes in here. The Environment Agency says that the plume of gas from the eruption is heading east. Later today, it could reach Thorlakshofen, Selfoss, and further inland. There's no pollution yet on the air quality meters there, and then later tonight, it could reach the capital area and even like spread further across the country. And as this is such a massive eruption, the air pollution will be more significant this time. Of course, they're advising people to monitor the air quality. There is a website, it's loftgetty.is, and they're advising people not to let children sleep outside if like air pollution is expected. Vulnerable people with pre-existing conditions are asked to close their windows overnight. And now we also have another confirmation that the lava has flown over the road Grindavik, and that has happened south of Mount Thorbjorn. Wow, I thought it would happen in the Swartsengi area again, but no, south of the Thorbjorn mountain. That is basically at the doorsteps of Grindavik, guys. This is, if you look at that map that I made last week where I say possible new eruption, you see Grindavik there between Grindavik and Mount Thorbjorn, and that's where it has flown over the road. That means it is touching the defense walls again, as we just talked about the light gray area in that map here. I'll put it in here for you again, where the January eruption had flown over Grindavik. So the lava's already there. It's at the doorstep of Grindavik, guys. This is pretty chilling. So I hope they have closed the gaps there. And they're saying the problem is the smoke from the burning road, from the asphalt from the road, is more dangerous than the gas that is coming from the lava. So I'm wondering what is in those roads. That sounds scary as well. So all this is blowing inland as well. So that is scary. All that has been confirmed by the director of the Icelandic Road Administration. And they're saying, and you have to imagine, what is the flow? How much is this? 1,000 cubic meters of lava flow every second. So imagine a fairly sized swimming pool, and the amount of this, what's in this swimming pool, is coming out of there every second. They're saying that this is still similar to the lava flow at the beginning of the last eruption. So interesting. They're saying these 1,000 cubic meters is equivalent to Reykjavik's largest swimming pool, the biggest swimming pool that they have there. So wow, guys, this is, I don't know, we just have to see and wait what will happen to the defense walls of Grindavik. And I'm still having a rumbling in my gut. I'm just hoping that this fissure will not expand inside Grindavik. So guys, almost 10 a.m. here. I'm absolutely wiped out. You see the Navy mast behind me. They have built a barrier around it, so hopefully this will hold. It is kind of scary for Grindavik. The night, the rest of the day there will show whether the defense walls will hold, whether there'll be a new fissure opening in Grindavik. I'll keep you updated. Thanks, guys. Many of you have asked, why don't you do a complete live? We can send you money in the super chats and stuff like this. Guys, I want to show you graphics. I want to show you stuff. So for me, alive right now, it takes me, it sounds weird, maybe it takes me more time than doing these videos for you. So, but thanks for supporting me on my buymeacoffee.com website. If you buy me a coffee there, that keeps me going. So that's enough. And thanks so much for that support. It really, it helps. And you know, I'm using this coffee to stay alive here and to support my farm. So thank you for that. Another update will come very, very soon. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye bye, guys.